Welcome to this walkthrough of our Greyd.Suite prefab demo site called Events. We're going to walk you through three very powerful features of Greyd.Suite: global taxonomies, nested queries, and conditional content. The site demos a scalable setup for promoting and managing training events all over the world. Fun fact, although the locations, people, and schedules are 100% fictional, the content of the training sessions actually isn't. These could be real training sessions that people can give around the globe. The site is designed to show you how you can structure content efficiently using only Greyd.Suite, so you don't have to rely on custom code or external bloated plugins that bring in a lot of stuff you don't need. So let's go over to the back end. Let's start with the core structure. I've created three main custom post types: location, expert, which throughout the front end is also called instructors, and event. Now, to make sure that we can display those with nested queries, meaning we can actually display data from one custom post type inside the template of another, we have to make sure that they have something in common. And this is where global taxonomies come in. Every custom post type in this setup has been connected through shared taxonomies. Those are the ones you see here. Now, if I open up the edit post type, you will see that these are all checked to connect. The event post type also has a lot of custom fields because, of course, we want to filter by date, start time, end time, and so on. So all in all, we have 274 events happening all over the world and online, which is also registered as a location. This is a very simple, straightforward page. It displays a query loop with the locations, but now we go into, for example, Madrid. Actually, the post itself is very boring. If you go in, all it has is the name, the address, and the featured image. But it shows a lot more. And this is happening in that template. All right, now I'll show you what is happening in the backend. One of the many advantages of the WordPress site editor is that if you're logged in and you're on the front end of a template, to get there, all you have to do is click Edit Site. So here we are. This template displays the featured image here and here, and on the left, it has the address of the location. But in the location, I've also hooked it up to the correct global taxonomy. As you can see here, when we are inside of that post on the right, there is locations, and I chose Madrid because that's where we're showing the events from. Okay, back to that query. So here's the query I nested inside of the location. And on the right, you can see how you actually visually build up your query. This is post type event. And then I used an advanced filter saying I want to filter it by taxonomy. There are more options than that, but we are going for global taxonomies here. And in this case, it's a global taxonomy location. And then I said terms of the current post. And the term of that current post is Madrid in this case. Now, I also want to sort the results chronologically because we're speaking about dates. So for that, I sort results, ask it for meta to be ascending, and then by date, which is a custom field in the post, and set it to chronological. And this is how it displays the event in the right way. So we're moving on to conditional content and using the conditional content block, which is an incredibly powerful feature in Greyd.Suite. For this, I'll dive into the template straight away. Now, here are the considerations. There are 274 events, some of them happening on a location in a certain country, and some of them happening online. Now, if an event is online, you need to append a time zone for people coming from other regions so they know when to attend. However, if an event is taking place physically in a location, you don't need to do that. Instead of trying to resolve this through creating even more custom fields, this is where the conditional content block is absolutely perfect. Now let me quickly take you back to the custom post type event so you understand the relation between the steps I'm taking now. The event has, of course, its content, its trainer, and then here are all those custom fields. Date, start time, end time. I left the fee empty. And the level is beginner, and the format is very important. This is an in-person event. I have two other formats being online and in person and online, a so-called hybrid event, and the capacity for this course is 12 people. All right, now we go back to that template. I've added several conditional content blocks. Here are the two that decide whether something is shown with a time zone appended or not. The conditions are set on the right side. And in this case, I've set the conditions based on the post meta, which means a custom field. The post type is event. And the custom field that it depends on is format. Now, format, I have online, in person, and online, in person. And now it says if the format has the value online, then show this. If it doesn't have the value online, show that. I have also added a block that is actually depending on tags. And the reason I highlighted here is as follows, because in the bottom here, it says the dependency on taxonomies only work in archive templates. And this is not an archive template. But then again, we are not talking about a taxonomy, but we're talking about tags. So to the post type event, I have added the possibility to add tags in the post type itself. And so I get to select that here. It says select the taxonomy. And I know this can be confusing because this is WordPress speak, right? Factually, a tag is also a form of taxonomy. But just so you remember, if you use tags, then you can set conditions based on them as well. So now let's move on to the heavier lifting. So I had this consideration when creating these events. Again, 274 events. Now imagine you're going to type the price for each and every event inside of that post. That's a lot of work. It's inefficient and it's not scalable. Instead, I have set the pricing based on the event type, of being in person, and all kinds of things. So, of course, you have to think about the exception. So, this is the first thing I built in. I said, if the post meta for the fee has a value, then show me that if it has been set. And that's what I was showing you when I said here, hey, the fee is not filled out just a few minutes ago, right? Because if the fee has not been filled out, the other conditions kick in. If there is no value in this field and the value of the format is online and it is on beginner level, this is the fee. And as you can see here on the right, I have set more than one condition. This is why it displays like this. So that way I have set several conditions. And this is incredibly powerful You can endlessly add types of conditions. And the next one I'm going to show you is the first one in the row. It's the URL parameter. But as you can see, there are several of these conditions that you can use. On the series overview page, I've been using the URL parameter as a condition to change what offer someone sees. Using that parameter lets you send personalized campaigns with targeted messaging, and this is all happening on the same page. You don't have to redirect, you don't have to duplicate layouts. And so in this case, I show a standard offer for general visitors, but if someone clicks a newsletter link that has $A is 1, they see a special version of the same page with a different design and a different message. Now, if you go to conditional content on the page, I have added in these links. This is the link with that appended parameter. And as you see, this is a completely different layout. Let me show you that under the hood. If it doesn't contain this parameter, it shows you this. But if it does contain this parameter and the value is 1, it shows you that. This content is available to every content creator. You can download it from our website. The link is in the description or on the page that you are watching this video from. And I'd say use it, build it, adapt it, and most importantly, use it as a blueprint for scalable thinking.